Hello everyone, welcome back to the course Power System Operation and Control. In the earlier videos, we have discussed about basic operation and constructional details of synchronous machine, as well as mathematical modeling and equations of synchronous machine with respect to stator and with respect to rotor as well. Now in this lecture onwards, we will discuss about the modeling of synchronous machine. This is the outline of the discussion. First, we will discuss on physical description of synchronous machine. Then we will move towards mathematical model. Then parts or DQO transformation. Then we will discuss on steady state analysis, in which phasor representation in DQ coordinates and the link with the network equations. And further, we will discuss the remaining contents. Let's start with the physical description of the synchronous machine. So as all we know that the synchronous machine consists of two sets of winding. First, a three-phase armature winding on the stator distributed with centers 120 degree apart in the space. And the second is the field winding on the rotor supplied by a DC supply. Two basic rotor structures are used in the synchronous machine, whether it is a synchronous motor or a synchronous generator. First is salient or projecting pole structure for low speed applications, especially for the hydraulic turbines or hydraulic units. And the second is the round rotor structure for high speed applications, for example, thermal power plants. The salient pole have concentrated field windings, usually also carry damper winding on the pole face. The round rotor have solid steel rotors with a distributed winding. Nearly sinusoidal space distribution of flux wave shape is obtained by distributing stator winding and field winding in round rotor slots and shaping the pole faces of salient pole type of machine. This is the actual structure of the rotors of synchronous machine, rather synchronous generator. So traditionally, if you talk about the rotors of steam turbines, so already we have seen what type of rotors or type of construction of rotor is been used in the steam turbine generators. So traditionally, North American manufacturers did not provide special damper windings. Damper windings serves two purposes. It will protect or it will carry the high amount of current when there is a fault into the synchronous generator, and in the synchronous motor it will be used as a starting purpose, that is in the synchronous motor. If you talk about the European manufacturers, they will provide for additional damper winding effects and negative sequence currents capability. The wedge on the slots of field winding interconnected to the form a damper case or separate copper rods provided underneath the wedges, that is windings. So if we see figure 3.3a, actual rotor structure we can see here. The outside part is of rotor. Sorry, this is the stator part and inside the rotor part. And this is the enlarged view of a slot. We can see in the figure number B, rotor slot, and the inside, the winding is placed. So this is the winding, this is the damper winding, and below that the field winding, and this is the slot which is provided onto the rotor. Let's move forward. As far as hydraulic units are concerned, means rotor used in the hydraulic units are concerned, these are projected type, and especially for the low speed applications, these type of rotors have been used. The non-magnetic material rods embedded in the pole faces. This is about the damper winding connected to the end rings to form short-circuited winding. Damper windings may be either continuous or non-continuous. Space harmonics of the armature MMF contributed to surface eddy current. Therefore, pole faces are usually laminated. So on the figure 3.2, on the left hand side, you can see continuous damper winding, and on the right hand side, you can see a non-continuous damper winding where the rings or the conductors are short circuited with the help of end rings. Let's see the balanced steady state operation of synchronous generator. Net MMF wave, that is magnetomotive force wave, due to the three-phase stator winding, it travels at synchronous speed, means it rotates at synchronous speed. It appears stationary with respect to the rotor and has a sinusoidal space distribution. So MMF wave due to one phase, we can see in the figure number 3. So this is about the MMF wave. If you talk about some mathematical expressions for the MMF waves for every phase, so we're having 3 phases, phase A, phase B, and phase C. So for MMF for phase A, KIA cos gamma and IA equals to IM cos omega s of t. Then MMF of phase B is equals to K into IB cos of into the bracket gamma minus 2 pi by 3, and IB is equals to IM cos of omega st minus 2 pi by 3. For phase C, MMF equals to KIC cos of gamma plus 2 pi by 3 IA IM IA equals to IM cos of omega s t plus 2 pi by 3, as all the phases are displaced with the 120 degrees, it comes into the expression. So MMF total is a summation of the MMF of all 3 phases, that is MMF of phase A, MMF of phase B, and MMF of phase C. So the MMF total mathematically we can express by 3 by 2 KIM cos gamma minus omega s t. The magnitude of stator MMF wave and its relative angular position with respect to rotor MMF wave depends on the machine output. For generator action, rotor field leads stator field due to forward torque of the prime mover, and for motor action, rotor field lags stator field due to retarding torque of shaft load. Once again, I'll repeat. Magnitude of stator MMF wave and its relative angular position with respect to rotor MMF wave depends on the machine output. For generator action, rotor field leads stator field due to forward torque of prime mover. In case of motor, rotor field lags stator field due to retarding torque of shaft speed. It has been expressed in the figure 3.8, where we can see stator and rotor MMF waves and their shapes. If we talk about the transient operation of synchronous generator, the stator and rotor fields may vary in magnitude with respect to time and have different speed. The current flow not only in the field and stator, but also it will flow through the damper winding if present, and through the solid rotor surface and slots walls of round rotor machines. So this is, we're discussing about the transient operation. So whenever there is a transient, excess amount of current will flow either through the damper winding if it is present, or it will also carry it through the solid rotor surface and slot walls of rotor machines. So in figure number 3.4, current pass and in a round rotor has been expressed or indicated. So this is the cylindrical rotor. Here the actual path of the current transient, that is current when transient or when the generator is going through the transient operation. And as earlier we have discussed, it will also carry through the solid rotor surface and slot walls of round rotor machines, which has been expressed in the figure 3.4b. Let's see about the direct and quadrature axis of synchronous generator. The rotor has two axes of symmetry. This is for analysis purpose. We have direct and quadrature axis. For the purpose of describing synchronous machine characteristics, these two axes are defined. The direct, that is D axis, centered magnetically in the center of the North Pole. We can see here, this is the direct axis. This is centered magnetically in the center of the North Pole. As far as quadrature axis is concerned, it is in 90-degree electrical ahead of the direct axis, so that we can see here. So this is about the direct and quadrature axis. So direct axis is centrally, or it is centered magnetically in the center of the North Pole, and the quadrature axis will be 90 degrees ahead of the direct axis. In figure number 3.1, you can see direct axis and quadrature axis as well. The structure of the synchronous generator. Then mathematical description of synchronous machine. For the purpose of analysis, the induced currents in the solid rotor or damper winding may be assumed to flow in two sets of closed circuit. One set of flux is in the line with the direct axis, and the other set whose flux is along the quadrature axis. The following figure shows the circuit involved. So in the figure 3.9, left-hand circuit is indicating the rotor of the synchronous generator, and on the right-hand side, the circuit of the stator. So in the rotor circuit, we can able to see the quadrature axis and the direct axis, and the other terms as it has been earlier we have discussed. Let's move ahead. We will take a review of magnetic circuit equations, which has been discussed earlier. So consider the elementary circuit of figure 3.10, which is, you can easily see in the bottom of this particular slide. In this, EI and E1, this is E1 and this is EI. EI is equals to d psi by dt, and E1 is equals to d psi by dt plus the drop across the resistance R into I, and psi is equals to Li. The inductance by definition is equal to the flux linkage per unit current. L is equals to N phi by I, which is equals to N square multiplied by P, where P is equals to permeance of the magnetic path and phi is the flux, which is N into I into P. Let's move ahead. Now consider a circuit which is a magnetically coupled circuit. So in this, once again we will consider the diagram 3.1, which is for the magnetically coupled circuit. Now in this E1, let's say a primary side induced EMF, E2 N1 is the number of turns on the primary circuit and N2 is the number of turns on the secondary circuit. This 5 is equals to the summation of two fluxes which are there in the magnetically coupled circuit. So E is equals to d psi 1 by dt plus R1 I1. E2 is equals to d psi 2 by dt plus R2 I2. Psi 1 is equals to L11 I1 plus L21 I2, and psi 2 is equals to L21 I1 plus L22 I2, where L11 is the self inductance of winding 1, this winding. L22 is the self inductance of winding number 2, this winding. And L21 is the mutual inductance in between winding 1 and 2. The equations are complicated by the fact that inductances are the function of rotor position and hence it will vary with the time. We're talking about the basic equation of synchronous machine. The self and mutual inductance of stator circuit vary with the rotor position since permeance to the flux path vary. So IAA is equals to LA1 plus IGAA, which is equals to LAA naught or 0 plus LAA2 cos of 2 theta. IAB is equals to IBA, which is equals to minus LAB0 plus LAB2 into cos of 2 theta minus 2 pi by 3, which is equals to minus LAB0 minus LAB2 cos 2 theta plus pi by 3. The mutual inductances between stator and rotor circuits vary due to the relative motion between the windings. So IAFD of the forward is equals to LAFT cos of theta. IAKD is equals to LAKD cos theta, and IAKQ is equals to LAKQ cos theta plus pi by 2, which is equals to minus LAKQ sine theta. Dynamics of synchronous machine is given by the equations of the coupled stator and the rotor circuit. The stator voltage and flux linkages equations for phase A. Similarly, we can apply this equation to phase B and phase C are EA is equals to d psi A by dt minus RA IA, and psi A is equals to minus IAA into IA minus IAB IB minus IAC IC plus IAFD IFD plus IAKD into IKD plus IAKQ into IKQ. About the rotor circuit voltages and flux linkages equations, EFD, which is equals to rho into psi FD plus RFD IFD, which is equals to 0 psi rho psi KD plus RKD IKD, and rho psi KQ plus RKQ IKQ. Psi FD is equals to LFFD IFD plus LFKD IKD minus LAFD into the bracket IA cos theta plus IB cos theta minus 2 pi by 3 plus IC cos theta plus 2 pi by 3. Psi KD is equals to LFKD IFD plus LKKD IKD minus LAFD into the bracket IA cos theta plus IB cos theta minus 2 pi by 3 plus IC cos theta plus 2 pi by 3. And finally, psi KQ is equals to LKKD IKQ plus LAKQ into the bracket IA sine theta plus IB sine theta minus 2 pi by 3 plus IC sine theta plus 2 pi by 3. Let's move towards the DQ transformation. The DQ transformation is also called as Parkes transformation, which transforms stator phase quantities from the stationary ABC reference frame to the DQO reference frame, which rotates with the rotor. So we can have a current vector as ID, IQ, and IO, which is DQO components, or a frame which equals to 2 pi by 3. And the matrix you can see in front of you: cos theta minus sine theta half cos of theta minus 2 pi by 3 minus sine theta minus 2 pi by 3 half cos theta plus 2 pi by 3 minus sine theta plus 2 pi by 3 and half whole matrix multiplied by IA, IB, and IC current vector. The above transformation is also applies to stator flux linkages and voltages. With the stator quantities expressed in the DQ reference frame, all inductances are independent of rotor position except for the effect of magnetic saturation. Under balanced steady state operation, the stator quantities appears as DC quantities, and during electromechanical transient condition, stator quantities vary slowly with the frequencies in the range of 1.0 to 3.0 Hertz. Let's see the physical interpretation of DQO transformation. As earlier has been discussed, the DQO transformation may be viewed as a means of referring the stator quantities to the rotor side. In the machines 1 and 2, we have studied about the transforming the quantities from secondary to primary winding or primary to secondary winding of the transformer. So same is we are right now discussing as far as synchronous generator is concerned with the help of DQO transformation or Parkes transformation. In effect, the stator circuit are represented by two fictitious armature windings which rotate at the same speed as the rotor, such that the axis of one winding coincides with the D axis and that of the other windings with the Q axis. The currents ID, that is direct axis current, and IQ, which is a quadrature axis current, flowing in these circuits result in the same MMF on the D and Q axis as they do the actual phase current. The MMF due to ID and IQ are stationary with respect to the rotor, and therefore it will act as a path for the constant permeance, resulting in a constant self-inductance of direct axis and quadrature axis, that is LD, which is of direct axis, and LQ, which is of the quadrature axis of the stator winding. As well, maintain fixed orientation with the rotor circuits, resulting in constant mutual inductances. The further part about the per unit representation, already we have discussed. So till the physical interpretation of DQO transformation, we have studied the mathematical models equations of the synchronous generator and how we can transform the quantities from the stator to the rotor of the synchronous generator with the help of DQO or Parkes transformation. Thank you.